Hey there, Sunday school. All right, we've got a very interesting story for today. So Joseph and his brothers, right? Well, a lot of time went by. Joseph passed away. He went to heaven, and all of his brothers passed away, and it got to a point where Egypt no longer, like, Joseph and all of his friends and family weren't around anymore. It was the next generation. So there was a new king of Egypt. And this king he didn't know anything about Joseph. He didn't know anything about the family and what Joseph had done for Egypt. Um, and he was getting a little upset because all the Israelites, so Joseph's family, had gone, they'd moved right there to Egypt. And the Pharaoh had given them like beautiful land to live on. Well, they were, growing. Their families were growing. They were getting married and having kids. And the new king of Egypt, like, didn't know these people. He's like, they're getting to be such a large number of people that they're going to overpower my kingdom. And he decided that he was going to make the Israelites be slaves for him. So he made all of them slaves, and he worked them like super, super hard. He made them like lift like all day these heavy bricks and build and just labor that would have been in the hot sun and would have just been very hard. He would also work them in the fields for hours and hours and hours. And he was trying to beat them down so they wouldn't be a powerful people. Well, instead of giving up and getting weaker, the Israelites began to get strong and mighty, and their families kept growing, and they were becoming a very powerful group of people. So finally, the king, he was a very evil king. He did not love the God that the Israelites loved, the true God. He didn't care about who these people were, and he was very scared that they were going to overpower him. So he made a law that every single baby that was born to an Israelite woman and her husband, that baby, if it was a boy, he had to be killed. And if it was a girl, he'd let them live. So what the king was doing is trying to make the nation weaker, because if they didn't have any men, or any boys, those little boys wouldn't grow up to be men and be in the army. So he made that law that they had to kill every boy baby. Well, there was a lady, and she had a baby. Well, it was a boy. So she decided to hide this little baby boy in her house. So anytime, the Egyptians would come around and look and see if, any women had their children, she hid her baby boy, and he didn't get discovered. Well, 3 months go by, and he's getting, he's grown up. He's wanting to run around and play and laugh and scream. So it was harder to keep him hidden. So the mom decided, okay, my baby boy is going to get noticed. He's going to be seen by the Egyptians, and he's going to be murdered. So I have to do something to prevent that from happening. So she decided to get a basket, and she took tar, sticky tar, and she put it, she coated the basket with it, tar and pitch, and she laid her baby into the basket. And then she set him right there, the Big Nile River, right? This huge river. There had been tall grass and reeds growing, and she nestled that basket in kind of that river amongst the really tall grass and the reeds. And she hid him there and said, okay, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I'm trying what I can. Well, the big sister of this little baby decided she wanted to kind of watch and see what was going to happen to her little baby brother. So she kind of hid off in the distance, and she was just sitting there watching. And lo and behold, Pharaoh's daughter, so this was a new Pharaoh, his daughter, so princess, she was rich and beautiful and had all sorts of lovely clothing, and she had servants and all of these things. And she was walking along the riverbank, and it was time to get cleaned up, to wash, to bathe, because they didn't have like showers or bathtubs back then. So you'd use the river water. And she was walking down like into the river, and she heard crying. And so she told her servant, the servant below her, she said, "Go and see what's going on. Like, I hear something strange, like coming from those reeds over there by the river." So the servant girl went and found this baby in a basket, lying there crying. And she brought this baby to Pharaoh's daughter, and she said, "Here, princess, here is a baby." And the Pharaoh's daughter, she's like, "Oh, this is a Israelite baby. This is not an Egyptian baby." And she knew he's a baby boy, so the law was that they had to kill this baby boy. And she's like, "No, I do not want that to happen." She had love in her heart for this baby, even though it was against the law to save this baby's life. So she was trying to think of, what am I going to do? And remember that Moses, or the baby's big sister, was watching from a distance. Well, she saw this happening, and she saw that Pharaoh's daughter was compassionate and wanted to help this baby. So baby's big sister, she went and she ran up to Pharaoh's daughter, and she's like, "Do you need me to go find an Israelite lady who can take care of the baby while it's little? And then when it gets older, you can have him as a son?" And so then the fancy Pharaoh's daughter wouldn't have to change baby diapers, right? Well, babies didn't really wear diapers back then, but you know how it goes. So the big sister ran up to Pharaoh's daughter. She said, "Let me get a lady from an Israelite to help you nurse the baby." And Pharaoh's daughter's like, "Yeah, that's perfect. A Hebrew lady can or an Israelite lady can take care of this little baby, and then I get to have him when he's older." So the girl ran back home. Guess what she did? "Mom, Pharaoh's daughter, the princess, wants to find someone to take care of the baby that was in the basket," which is, my little brother and your son. So the mom was like, "Yes, are you kidding me?" So the mom went, and Pharaoh's daughter gave her the baby and said, "I'm going to pay you while you raise this baby up until he's a little bit older." And so the baby's mom and the daughter and then the little baby went back home. She took care of the baby, and she got paid money to do that. And then when the baby had kind of grown up, he was a younger boy now, the mom took him to Pharaoh's daughter because she had promised, "Yes, I will give him back to you. He will be your son." And so she brought him back, and then Pharaoh's daughter finally gave him a name. She said, "His name is Moses, because I drew him out of the water." That name Moses means to draw out of the water. And that is the start of Moses' life. All right, Sunday School, I will talk to you next week. Bye.